Before starting this video, this is not a Samsung slander, so I do not want to see any keyboard warriors in my comment section. I own a Galaxy Book Pro 360 myself, a Galaxy S20 which is recording this video, and a Samsung Smart Monitor. So watch the video till the end to see what I've got to say. Now we all know Samsung has been making laptops for God knows how many years, but they're always lacking functionality and looks. We were receiving big bulky pieces of plastic that had mediocre software and hardware optimization compared to their rivals, the MacBooks. The MacBooks had good processors, yes, but the main differentiator was the software optimization. And I've said this time and time again, what sets a great company apart from a good company is how well they can optimize the software. Hardware is good and all, but hardware is only limited by hardware. Software is what takes it to the next level. But even after countless of years of not being on top, Samsung never gave up. In recent years, Samsung has been making massive moves to take up more percentage in the laptop market. They started to take the laptop game more serious when they released the Galaxy Book S back in, I think, 2018. Now don't get me wrong, they did release some great laptops before the Galaxy Book S, such as the Notebook 9 Pro, but Samsung marketing of the Galaxy Book S showed their confidence in their laptop. In this video, I'll be comparing the latest and greatest of both companies, which are the Galaxy Book Pro 360 from Samsung and the M1 Pro and M1 Max MacBook Pros from Apple. This will allow us to see how far Samsung has come in their laptop game. Like and subscribe so you can get the best tech content that YouTube has to offer. I visited the nearest Apple store near me to experience the new MacBook Pros that just came out. But unfortunately, my SD card got corrupted and all footage was lost. This also contributed to why I couldn't upload for over a week. When I was looking at the build quality, the MacBook is covered head to toe with aluminium, which gives it this premium ice cold finish. The Book Pro 360 also gives you that ice cold finish because itself is covered in full aluminium, front and back. This is no surprise because that's how all high-end laptops are built in 2021, so build quality should not be an issue for you. Portability is where you should really be worried because hands down, if you want a laptop that you can just put in your backpack and go for on the go, to go to lectures, to travel, like, there is no debate. Get the Galaxy Book Pro 360. This laptop is super elegantly thin and extremely lightweight that you sometimes forget you're carrying this beast in your backpack. You can take it anywhere and everywhere without having to worry about breaking your back or taking up all your room space with just one laptop. The new MacBooks though can stay on your desk because I don't think anyone want to carry a fat square slab around campus or at work. These MacBooks are a lot thicker than the predecessors, and when I saw them for the first time, I could not believe my eyes. I think they've gone a massive step backwards because am I the only one that thinks these new MacBooks don't look premium at all? I used to love the looks of the older MacBooks like the M1 because they looked premium and slim. When I say these MacBooks are big and bulky, I mean what I say because the 14-inch MacBook weighs more than the 15-inch Book Pro 360. So hands down, the Book Pro 360 wins the portability section. Both laptops have great trackpads. The Book Pro 360's trackpad is large enough for my needs, but personally, I don't use trackpads on laptop that much. I just connect a wireless mouse. They both function well and are plenty responsive. A lot of reviewers are always going crazy about how great the trackpads on the MacBook Pros are, but I personally don't see the difference. They're just normal trackpads and aren't much different than those found in high-end laptops nowadays. The gestures on Windows 11 are such a joy to use on the trackpad on the Book Pro 360 because it's just so responsive and fluent. I'm making a video reviewing Windows 11 on the Book Pro 360, so make sure to like and subscribe to not miss out. The keyboards on both laptops are, you know, keyboards, nothing special, nothing. They are both backlighted and have great travel. One is no better than the other and you will not be disappointed either way you go. I'm saying this because every year companies make claims about their trackpads and keyboards, saying about this enhancement, this improvement, but at the end of the day, they're all just the same. I can't really see the difference. I owned the 2019 MacBook for a while and I switched to the Book Pro 360, so I do have an idea of what I'm talking about. The Galaxy Book Pro 360 comes with an OLED display that isn't the brightest but has the best color representation. The screen is plenty bright inside, but when you step out, that's when you start to struggle a bit. I think the main contributor to this struggle to see outside is the really high gloss display. This laptop shouldn't be called a 2-in-1 but instead a 3-in-1 because if you switch it off, you have yourself either a 13-inch mirror or a 15-inch mirror. That's a bloody 3-in-1. Anyways, the display on the Book Pro 360 will not disappoint you at all because at the end of the day, the best display manufacturer in the world is made the display. The new MacBooks, however, have a 120Hz mini LED display. Mini LED is Apple's attempt to rival Samsung's OLED display, but I don't think that will ever happen. However, if it does happen, then that's going to be quite impressive. The display on the 14-inch MacBooks comes with a 3024 by 1964 pixels. That's a lot of pixels. The 16-inch version comes with 3072 by 1920 pixels. The fact, however, that the mini LED is not too far off the OLED, it has a 120Hz display with a high resolution. Yeah, Apple takes the cake on this screen segment. Now, the notch is not as bad as people make it out to seem, because after a while you forget about the notch on this massive 14-inch display. If you can forget about the notch on a tiny phone display, why can't you forget about it on a 14-inch display, right? Let alone a 16-inch? Now let's talk about the performance. Well, do we have to though? Because I feel kind of bad for my MacBook Pro 360. The M1 Pro and the M1 Max are just generations upon generations upon generations ahead of the MacBook Pro 360. Until Samsung asks Microsoft to create a custom operating system for their laptops so it can work well with the future Exynos and AMD chips they'll be putting in there. Yeah, I don't think Samsung will ever catch up. These chips are just so freaking overkill, it's not even normal. The optimization Apple has done on these chips are just incredible, and me being a Samsung boy, I have to put my pride aside and just appreciate what's been happening. In conclusion, the M1 Pro and M1 Max completely destroys the 11th gen Intel Core i5 and i7 in the MacBook Pro 360. So the big question is, has Samsung finally caught up with Apple when it comes to laptops? My personal answer will be yes. Yeah, they have. Samsung has finally started making premium looking and feeling laptops that can work well and compete with a MacBook. The only downside right now will be the processors, but don't get me wrong, this Galaxy Book Pro 360 that I have with me right now has got the 11th gen Intel Core i5 processor with an Intel Iris Xe graphics or something. Yeah, I still use this to edit 4K 24fps videos with no problems. The only problem I encounter is when I start editing 4K 60fps videos, but in DaVinci Resolve 17, this can easily handle 4K 24fps with the Intel Core i5 11th gen and 8 gigs of RAM. So I'm guessing the i7 with 16 gigs of RAM will do a lot better, but yeah, these chips are still no slouch. But compared to the M1 Pro and M1 Max, like, no, it's just down here with the M1s being up there. In terms of what to buy, if you're a student and want an extremely powerful laptop for on the go, get the Galaxy Book Pro 360. If you're a professional, like professional video editor, professional graphics design, professional photo editor, like, or you work in cinematography area, whatever it's called, get the MacBooks because they will not disappoint you. If you're not too worried about portability and just for the beast and the best of the best, get the MacBooks. Watch this video here to see my full review and experience with the Galaxy Book Pro 360. Like and subscribe if you're this far into my video. You must have enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, link in the description, or just type in TechFullTech, and I'll catch you in the next one.